style of yoga that I like to teach, which is a blend of Hatha and Ashtanga. And I like to pair mindfulness into it, or add mindfulness cues into it. So I'm going to invite you to sit either on a cushion or on your mat. I mean, if you want to lift your hips up, just because it's more comfortable sometimes to be seated. And then you're welcome to close your eyes or have a downward gaze, whatever is comfortable for you. And what we'll do is we'll breathe in for the count of 4 seconds, hold the breath for the count of 4 seconds, exhale for the count of 4 seconds, and then hold the breath again for the count of 4 seconds. Now, 4 is what we typically like to start with. And if you are comfortable with this breathing technique, you can always add maybe and do 5 seconds for everything and then slowly increase that. So this is called the box breath, which one of my students likes to say, who's 12 years old, he likes to tell me it's not box, it's a square breath. I kind of agree with him. But this breathing technique is used by Navy SEALs to manage their anxiety. So closing your eyes if you like, and then on your breath in, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, 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 and then breathe normally and naturally. Noticing just if there's a subtle shift in how you feel in this moment. Noticing your head over your heart, shoulders relaxed, back straight. Notice if you're leaning forward. Notice if you're leaning backwards. And then from here, I'm going to invite you to roll over onto all fours. So just starting the practice with a little bit of cat and cow. So knees are apart, palms are flat on the mat. Try not to have cupcake fingers. And you're going to exhale, round your back, tuck your head in, drop your belly, inhale, look up. We'll do like 4 of these. And this will help release tension from the lower back, help synchronize the breathing with the movements. And if you're done with 4, you're also welcome to kind of look over the right shoulder at your hips or your toes, look over the left shoulder, just get a little bit of side stretching action. Some people like to kind of gently move clockwise, maybe counterclockwise. And then I'm going to invite you to tuck your toes, come into downward facing dog. And here, if you feel your feet are too close together, you're welcome to move them further away from your body. If you think they're further or too far apart, bring them closer to your hands. So walk just to make sure that you're comfortable, or adjust rather. And then walking to the top of your mat, bending your knees, unroll vertebrae by vertebrae. Okay, from here, inhale, exhale, bring your palms together. Matching your breath with your movements. Inhale, sweep your arms up to mountain so that you're lengthening, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale to half forward fold. So this is the Ashtanga style that I like to throw in. Exhale to full forward fold. Inhale, take the right leg back, palms are flat, left back, coming into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Just letting the blood rush to the brains to nourish them with oxygen. And then on your next inhale, we're going to do crescent. So you're welcome to drop your left knee, bring the right leg forward. So knee is directly over your ankle, and then sweep the arms up. And if you're up like this, see if you can sink down into your hips. Coming into crescent, Anjaneyasana, and then on your exhale, bring your palms down, lift your left knee up off the mat, circle your arm up, coming into extended twisted triangle. So right leg bent, left arm supporting. Beautiful. Exhale down. Inhale, take the right leg back. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left leg forward, dropping your right knee this time, sweeping the arms to crescent, Anjaneyasana. And then on your exhale, bringing the palms down, lift your right knee off the mat. Inhale, circle and bring your left arm up to Uttita Parivrita Trikonasana, extended twisted triangle. And then on your exhale, bring your left hand down, take your left leg back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog again. Then we're going to inhale, step the right leg into warrior 2, Virabhadasana. So turn the left foot flat at the back. Lift yourself, circle your arms, your shoulders will be happy, sink into your hips and bend your knees. Once you are stable in Virabhadasana warrior, flip your right palm up to reverse warrior for a breath. And then rest your right hand on your right thigh without bearing too much weight, bringing the left arm parallel to your ear. Hold for one cycle of your breath in and out. And then inhale to warrior two. Exhale fully down to the ground. Inhale, take your right leg to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. And we're going to repeat the same thing on the left. So inhale to warrior two, mindful of your breath and your movements. Stabilize in warrior two. And then flip your left palm, exhale to reverse, hold for one cycle of the breath in and out. And then inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, rest your left hand on your thigh, right parallel to your ear. Then inhale back to warrior two. Exhale fully down to the ground. Inhale, take the left to plank. Exhale down, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale to cobra. I like to always do cobra to keep my lower back safe. And then exhale to downward facing dog. So unless I know I'm very warmed up, I won't do upward facing dog. Here I'm going to invite you to lift your right leg up into three-legged dog. You're welcome to bend your knee. And then I'm going to invite you to do lizard. So bring the right foot on the outside of the right shoulder. Drop your left knee, bend your elbows. And then you're welcome to either stay with the knee on the mat or lift it up. So just holding for 1 or 2 breath counts. Because this is a hip opening pose, so it may feel a little intense. And now I'm going to invite you to drop your left knee. Bring your right knee back onto the mat, changing the left and bringing that into lizard. And again, we're just going to stay here for a few moments, keeping your knee either on the mat or off the mat. Now gently releasing from lizard, Uttan Prasthasana. Bring your left knee onto the mat and we'll do a mini tricep push-up where you're lowering your chest and your chin onto the mat. Untuck your toes, come into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale to downward facing dog. And then just to balance the three-legged dog, you're welcome to open up the left leg, lift it up into three-legged dog. Tripado Adho Mukha Svanasana. And now I'm going to invite you from here to come into pigeon. So left knee next to the left palm. Slide your right leg out. And here, if you need to maybe put a cushion underneath your left thigh or a block, please do. If this is too intense and it doesn't work for your body, just skip it and relax on your stomach lying down in cobra. Or not cobra, but like on your belly. Okay. And then walk your head and chest down if you are doing pigeon Kapotasana, and you can just rest your head on a block on maybe the back of your hands or make your hand into a fist. We're just going to stay here for 2 breath counts. Okay, and then gently lifting up head and chest. Circle your right arm. Grab your foot at the back. Just hold for 1 breath count. This will give you a nice stretch on your thigh and your quad. And then release. Swiveling back to center. Exhale, bring your left leg to downward facing dog. We'll do a vinyasa. So slide into plank. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. And then you're welcome to do 3-legged dog again on the right. And then Kapotasana pigeon, right knee next to the right palm. Open the chest. This is a pretty intense back bend. And then walk your head and chest forward to rest and relax for 2 breath counts. Place your block or your bolster or something under your right thigh for that additional support, or skip this part completely. And then gently lift your head and chest up. Circle your left arm, bend your knee, grab hold of your foot, holding just for a few moments. Breathing into the stretch. And then releasing. Inhale back into your forward fold. Exhale to downward facing dog. We're going to slide into plank. Turn, and this is where I'm going to invite you to do side plank or skip. And you can bend your right foot in front just to give you that extra support. Hold for 1 breath and release. Turn to the other side for that extra support. Bend your left foot. Hold for a breath or 2 and release. Okay. Exhale down to the ground. Cobra on your in-breath. Exhale to downward facing dog. And we're going to end our vinyasa. So inhale, step your right leg forward. If you need to drop your knee for that extra support, please do. Exhale, bring your left forward. Inhale to half forward fold. Fingers on your shin, flat back. Exhale to full forward fold. And then inhale, sweep your arms up to mountain. Bring your palms in front of your heart center. Samastiti. Palms by your side. Shake it out. Take a sip of water if that is going to be something that you want to sort of do. And then we'll do a little bit of balance. Okay. So for balance, I'm going to just stick to what is pretty simple, which is just roll whichever foot you're going to stand and do the tree pose. And then step in. Now, if your mat is really soft and you feel like it hinders your balance, please step off the mat and onto your floor. You're welcome to do low tree, a little higher on the thigh, or lotus. Bring your palms together. Smile into your balance. And release. Shake it out. Roll your other foot when you're ready. Come into your low, medium, or high, or lotus, whichever variation you're doing today. So this is very good for your back posture, strengthening the leg that you're standing on. So make sure that you're not locking your knee. And your gaze point can either be in the distance or a point on the floor in front of you, but keep the chin parallel to your floor so that you're not compromising your head. And relax. Shake it out. Have a seat. Stretching the legs out, I'd like to do a spinal twist. One of my favorite poses, Ardha Matsyendrasana, where you're bringing the left foot over the right knee. So the knee is straight up and the right foot, your toes are straight up. And then you're going to circle your left arm, place it behind to support, and then you can just hold, wrap, or lengthen the right, place the elbow against the thigh, and exhale into a deeper twist. On your next inhale, swivel back to the center. Stretch your leg out. Now, this is where I like to ask you, where was your mind and where were you during the twist? So notice once you get into the pose, so bring the right leg over the left knee, circle your right arm, place it behind, and either hold, wrap, or lengthen the left, exhaling into your deeper twist. And the word asana translates to comfortable and steady. So ideally, you can always check and see, am I comfortable? Am I steady? And then you know you're good with the pose. And then on your next inhale, swivel back to the center. Stretch your legs, shake them if you need to. Then I'm going to do a hip opening pose as well as a lovely stretch. Vishnu's pose. So rolling over to whichever side you want to start on. So I'm starting on the right. You can rest your head on your upper arm or cradle your head in your hand, or do the third one, which is the Jane Fonda variation. So picking whichever one will work for you. And then your lower leg is bent, and then just lift your leg up. You can keep your leg straight. That works also, especially if you don't have the danger of tipping over. And then just enjoy the stretch on both the hamstring. So keep your foot flat, or you can point it. You can do a little bit of rotations, clockwise, counterclockwise. And then settle into the pose, holding for another 3 breath counts. and then gently exhale down. Rolling over to the other side for Vishnu's pose, Anandasana. Picking the variation that works best for you. And then inhale, lift your leg. Make sure that you're not locking your knee, so you're keeping it micro bent. Keeping your meniscus, which is what keeps your bones in the knees happy and healthy. And then gently exhale down, roll over onto your stomach. So we're going to test out our lower back strength. Chin on the mat, legs can be together or apart, arms behind. And then inhale, lift up chin, chest, arms, and your legs. Exhale fully down. We'll do a single bow. So I'm going to invite you to grab the right foot or your ankle. Left hand can be either next to you, or you can stretch it out in front of you, or you can even bend the elbow. So you're going to see the variation that I'm going to do is just lift up your right thigh off the mat, and your hand can be stretched out. And now you're doing a single bow, Dhanurasana. And then gently bring that thigh and knee back down. Let go, switch sides. So when you're ready, after you've bent your knee, grab your foot or your ankle, lift up. And then gently exhale down. So that's Ardha Dhanurasana, the half bow. Lifting up onto all fours and then lowering into Shashankasana. Let your forehead rest on the mat. And child's pose is good for stretching out your lower back, a mini hip opening pose also. But most importantly, it's where I invite you to think of 3 things that you're grateful for and why you're grateful for them. So it could be as simple as I'm grateful for my hands because they allow me to hold my loved ones. Or something different like I'm grateful for Internations because it allows me to enjoy all these different events and it adds value to my life. So just holding this for a few moments. On your next inhale, you're welcome to lift your head and chest up, flip over onto your back. And then we're going to do a few bridges to strengthen the lower back muscles. Once you've laid down, I'm going to invite you to do four bridges. So inhale, lift your hips up, exhale down to the ground. And some of these poses that we've done today are great if you add them to your evening routine, and can be stretches before you go to sleep, which just kind of helps the body release tension. And then from here, stretch your legs out into Shavasana, corpse pose. Flip your palms so that they're facing up. And then making any final adjustments so that you're absolutely comfortable. Repeating in your mind so that your body gets 2 instructions from me, 2 from you, so that you're fully relaxed. I relax my toes, my legs, and my hips. My toes, legs, and hips are relaxed. I relax my stomach, my chest, and my shoulders. My stomach, chest, and shoulders are relaxed. I relax my neck, my jaw, and my eyes. My neck, jaw, and eyes are relaxed. I relax my liver, my lungs, and my heart. My liver, lungs, and heart are relaxed. I relax my entire body, breathing, and my thoughts. My body, breathing, and thoughts are relaxed. Inhale deeply. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing the energy and the awareness to your body. You're welcome to interlock your fingers behind your head, bring your feet together, give yourself a lovely stretch. And hugging your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little bit of self-love. Then you're welcome to roll to your favorite side, to the right or the left. And then finally make your way to a seated position. And then gently bringing your palms together to warm them. Cup them over your eyes. Thank your body for today's practice. Namaste.